It is not so much a portion of Togo. Ghana would like to integrate the whole of the Republic of Togo. Having achieved the 1/3 of it, which was a British-mandated Togo, Ghana feels the logical conclusion of such a deal is to incorporate the remaining part of Togo, to which, of course, we object. And then you'll agree with me that with the present conditions in Ghana, nobody will willingly join such a country unless by war, unless forced by war.
Mr. President, you yourself have said that most of the boundaries which today exist in Africa are artificial boundaries imposed by the colonial countries. Why then is there this great desire among all these newly independent countries to retain those boundaries?
Well, it's very easy to understand, you see. Imagine that you are members of the same family, and as it happens in our country, you've all been given plots of land to cultivate. After having worked on that land for a long time, you begin to look at it as your property, and that doesn't belong so much to the family as to yourself. It's exactly the same thing with us. Having occupied a small portion of Africa under one particular regime for many years, we begin to think it's ours, and it doesn't belong to the whole of West Africa.
Mr. Spivak.
Mr. President, last November in the UN, your country, your delegate, voted for a resolution on nuclear testing calling for a moratorium without inspection or controls. Now that is the big issue at Geneva today. The Russians favor such a moratorium. Where does Togo stand today? Where do you stand today on the question of nuclear testing?
We sincerely believe that they should abolish all atomic bomb tests. But we are realists and practical enough to know that we cannot allow or we cannot support some countries to continue making tests whilst asking others not to do it. The best solution, of course, is that all the atomic bomb tests should be abolished. It is in the interest of everybody. But so long as some countries refuse to adhere to such a very wise counsel, it is very difficult for us to insist that other countries shouldn't do it. We can only hope that with the pressure which the small nations can build up in the United Nations, the big powers will agree to stop eventually the testing of atomic bombs.